Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. I'm Grundy. You are Go for Grundy, and with me, as always, is my co-host Jay. How's it going, Jay?
Hey, how's it going? It's going great, thanks.
Now, Jay, I don't know if you're aware, but apparently there's some kind of kerfuffle going on with Bud Light.
Yeah,
I was
I think it
complete.
resulted in their VIP of marketing getting fired and them losing billions of dollars.
Yeah, weird,
I don't know if it
weird.
was billions from their market
I
cap.
have. I think it was 1% of their global market share. Apparently,
Oh, is
okay,
that it?
not apparently. This is what happened. Okay, a third-party marketing agency created a
Hmm.
Bud Light can for a influencer that I'm pretty sure everyone in the world just effing hates.
But I mean, wearing womanhood as this costume, playing some ditzy, like it just it's just so distasteful. It's really
It's a look. It appears to be a caricature of
yeah,
womanhood,
that's what it is. Yeah.
and yeah, we're not even gonna say the name of the person, but everyone knows who it is. Yeah, so that's been going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
been going on. That's all we're gonna say about the Bud Light fucking thing. We're done. We're moving on from it. Okay.
But apparently, that wasn't a lesson that was easy to
Yeah.
learn,
That
or
yeah.
something that was self-evident in the whole, the fruits of the happening, as Jim Lee
Yeah.
might
I
say.
I don't know about you, Jay, but when I was a wee lad, okay, and one kid with a mouth, one kid with a mouth would like scream some obscenities to the teacher or shit, and then that kid would end up getting punished. And all the other kids in the class would see that kid getting punished,
Yeah.
and they think in their heads, "Hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that." And this is something that registers in the minds of fucking children.
Yeah,
I had a
exactly.
brother. It registered in my mind as a toddler. Yet, yeah. But apparently, if you're a global conglomerate fucking beer overlord corporation, you're too dumb for this
It has.
to register in your head.
It's
Enter,
not.
enter Miller Lite. Oh my
Oh
god,
my
guys,
God.
we're running out of beer brands here. Okay, can we please get one of you that's just not completely rainbow tarded?
um, that all that said, do you want to watch the ad?
Yeah, we're gonna play it through in its entirety for everybody. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's a minute 30.
Here's a little known fact: women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this. Wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's. Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good. How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer.
That good helps farmers grow quality hops.
Which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good.
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
All right, we're back. The commercial has happened, and you've all seen what we're talking about.
And
Uh,
this one like doesn't get into the weeds quite as much. Like, I mean, it's not that woke. It's just like, okay, paying homage to the women brewers, whatever. But it's very woke. It's still very woke, and to me this is just like evidence that it's the same, and this is like true of most, competing corporations, that they're owned by the same interests. That controlling shares of these companies are owned by, Vanguard and BlackRock and whatever else. So of course they're going to execute on whatever vision or whatever narrative it is that they want rolled out, and the people who work for these corporations get pushed out, and that's a whole other tangent. But that's one of the reasons why I think
the diversity, equity, and inclusion fucking personnel of Bud Light don't just stop existing once they get fired from Bud Light, right? They look for jobs in similar fields, and what other similar field could there be other than like other advertising agencies? So they're just getting shuffled around. It's like the lemon teacher problem, right? They don't just.
I don't even see that as the issue here. Like I don't see this as like, the guys who worked at Bud Light for their marketing campaign got fired and moved over to Miller, and Miller, it's like
no, that's not what happened. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I'm saying those people are going to move to other jobs in other industries, in other advertising sectors, right?
And they're gonna get hired because there's such a push of this is like even when it's being rejected by a significant or even like a majority percentage of the population are pushing back against this stuff, like the trans story hour and stuff like that, like the drag queen story hour or whatever. It's like there's a reason why this is getting airtime. There's a reason why these divisive topics are being forced into the discourse, artificially. And it's like this is the same type of shit where you have like these two mega corporations, Anheuser-Busch and then the Miller Corporation, who are basically taking their orders from their shareholders. And it's like that's what like these two massive companies that own trillions of dollars of U.S. stocks. It's like if you have a good product and you come like you have a good product or service or whatever, you make a company and you go public, you have like an IPO, and then from there it's just like this is why I hate the stock market. It's like you can have something great, you can build something great, and then immediately once you make it public, because you want to do that to help it scale so you can do more good for more people. You have a marketable product that is offering a good service at a good price and people want it, and so you take it public so you can scale this organization, and it just controlling shares get bought out immediately. This is the whole thing with the stock market. It's like it's just people think that what your product or service has merit. They, the people who print money, essentially, who are deeply tied with those who print money, are able to just buy out controlling shares.
And that's it. And that's if they don't short it out and just destroy your company from the outside like that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, they have to. The market has to respond. If it's going to short, it has to be like if someone's going to hold a big short position, it's because they're expecting it to fail, because it's a very dangerous gamble to short. Yeah. But all that just to say, I mean, these companies are taking these companies that own controlling, and they have shareholder meetings and stuff like that. The people who have controlling shares in a business, they're the largest shareholders. They get to influence the decisions that are made for the company, and that obviously, as we've seen, those decisions can be for the good or for the bad of the company. At the end of the day, they control all of them. It's like Pepsi and Coke. These same companies own controlling shares of both. So, like, if you're seeing both of them run failing marketing, campaigns, but that are really igniting a lot of controversy and like getting people really, it's very divisive, and people are pushing back against it, but they're still rolling them out after one of them has failed. It's like, hey, whose idea is this really?
All right, so now that everyone's seen the commercial in its entirety, Jay and I are going to go through it, and we're going to see if we can figure out what the hell this is for, because I have an idea of what I think they were trying to go for, and let's just break it down, shall we? Jay, I'm going to hit play on my end.
Yeah.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer?
Okay. I suspect one of the reasons that women did the primary chunk of the brewing back in the day is because if you've ever brewed beer, which Jay and I have both had the pleasure of helping our friend brew beer, it has to sit there for months. It has to literally sit there for months. It sits at home in a cool, dry place for months, and then after a couple weeks, you have to check on it and do. Yeah, It's like a month at least. So when you have something that takes a month to do and you have to check on it, like, you know, at a certain point after a couple weeks, you got to check on it, do a couple things. I don't remember all the stages, but I know it's a long process with a lot of moving parts, right? So when you have something that has to be done at home, it's stored at home, all the parts are at home, like, and you have, you know, men that are generally out there doing all the traveling and all this stuff. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's the way it was. It makes sense that women would be doing most of the brewing. And yeah, I'm sure they were good.
I don't know to what extent it has to be checked on regularly, but yeah, I mean, it is like, if it's something that was better aligned with the traditional division of labor tasks that would end up, you know, that were you know, with what women would do. I mean, if they're at the home, and I mean that's the safe place to be, and like, you know, again, women holding all the reproductive value, we don't want to send them out and, you know, ruin the potential for a family. But, you know, like the
well, on top of that as well, like brewing, you don't just sit there and brew all day. You have to either grow the ingredients or you have to go out and source the ingredients. Right. You know what I mean? Like yeast doesn't just grow on trees. Does it? Does yeast grow on trees?
Just like that. That was a real, like, it's like, wait a minute.
Wait, does yeast grow on trees? Let us know in the comments if yeast grows on trees.
Nutritional yeast. I don't know where that comes from. I think it's a... Oh, believed to have been originally isolated from the skin of grapes. So it's like a...
It grows on vines. Vines, not trees. So let's just say, like, the most of the going out of the house was done by the men, and the most of the staying at the house was done by the children. You can make the exact same argument for children, right? Like, women have been staying home and raising children for thousands of years. And, like, you could.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right. It's just the way it was. Like, I'm gonna keep going.
They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this wild. It's time.
Where's the Miller? There's no Miller ads there. They're just putting up the other beer brands ads.
No, look, this one. Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. Okay, yeah, right there.
But regardless, who is the demographic for Miller Lite? Who is the main consumer of Miller Lite?
Yeah, see, this is the thing. You know, it's the men that are consuming it most by far, but they want more young female drinkers. I don't know if that's like, I believe that's the whole the guise that this is being done under. We want to appeal to, you know, a different user base. We, you know, our the old man Miller drinker is like kind of slowly dying out, and we need new customers. So we've got to start appealing to the young customers. But like, it's something like beer drinking or whatever. To me, it seems like something that kind of gets like handed down more. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's your friend group. What is your friend group drink? And so that gets like, you know, it gets grandfathered down through generations of friends from, you know, like, you know, from them having become accustomed to a particular beer or something like that.
Now, I that's not necessarily true, because I know I used to drink beer. I don't drink at all anymore. But when I used to drink beer, I used to offer you, and there's only one kind of beer that you would actually drink.
Yeah.
And it's just because you don't like the taste of beer. But that's besides the point. Nowadays, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you want to do a little wiki warrioring for me in real time, if I'm not mistaken, the younger generations just don't drink at the same level that previous generations have, right? Like our generation, like, we were getting drunk in the high school parking lot, like. But nowadays, like young people are not consuming alcohol to the same degree, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking for specific figures. There we go. Okay, so what I'm looking at right now is an article from bbc.com/worklife article, blah, 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 blah. Gen Zers are taking it slow as they enter adulthood, either by not drinking at all or by drinking less often and in less quantity than older generations. This is from the UK, of course. Drinking studies in 2019. Okay, so we're not talking a crazy amount. Yeah. We're not talking a crazy gap, but like when you're looking at 10% being phased out of your entire like customer base, that is a big deal. I can see why a beer company would potentially be looking to spread out their market at this point when you take into a fact that 10% of
But it's the nature of the advertisements as well. Like it's that like the advertisement. This is a campaign that like again they didn't go the full full trans agenda woke agenda thing. But it is kind of still
divisive.
it's still divisive, and it's still kind of like, and I don't know, they're trying to do it carefully without it being like
Overly
misandrist. Like it's not like, oh, like like men suck or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
women deserve more than being in bikinis, which
is okay, which is
it's
okay,
totally reasonable,
which is
It's
okay.
totally reasonable. But
Yeah, give women their due when they
yeah, which is totally something I can get behind, but like it's still coming at a time when people are going to be very reactive based on the Bud Light campaign. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it is something where it's like, okay,
This does
that was
me-
too far. That's too far. Okay, let's see how far we can reel it back and still kind of and
So
and
yeah,
still kind
because this doesn't exist in a vacuum, right?
yeah, exactly. Because to say that you would be against this, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go
to
ahead.
say that you'd be against this would be misogynist. It's like, hey, like they're not asking for anything unreasonable, but it's like, but it is kind of like, not disrespecting the user base, but like in a way, it's going to feel like that for a lot of people, I think.
And I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you wanted to get women interested in your product, this is way better. Way better than what Bud Light did.
Then DM.
Than Mr. Alvani, yeah.
Whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good. How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer.
Okay, I'm a little confused by the biology lesson.
That good helps farmers grow quality hops.
They're literally just explaining like what's that process that fucking composting. They're explaining composting.
Yeah.
We take our bad products and we put it in dirt where worms eat it and they poop out nitrogen. And then nitrogen is good for plants to grow. So we use that to grow more plants.
Rondo, it's what plants crave.
Bro, if this is okay, Miller, all right. I promise you, okay? My mom knows all this shit. You don't need to explain it to her in a commercial.
Which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too.
I wonder if people are actually sending them shit.
That's where my brain went. I'm like, is literally Miller Lite just giving it an open call for everyone to send all the broken,
Imagine
dusty crap.
Imagine the backfire on this campaign being like thousands of tons of human shit being sent out. That would be the most epic, viral ad campaign rejection story.
Oh, bro, FedEx is gonna be pissed.
Like just the transportation of feces. Well, you wanted my shit, right? Here's some shit. Just like.
You sound like you just made me think of the angry video game nerd.
Oh shit, shitty shit, goat shit, horse shit, shit, kick the shit, holy shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, shitload of dog shit, piece of shit, shat.
Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Oh my god.
You know, I
See,
just
again, it's not like it isn't like pushing a super woke agenda. That's the thing but it is like it's going to feel like that for a lot of people. A lot of people are like, what the fuck is this? Women and beer? Like, and sure, okay, like I don't think that they would react that way. Obviously, that's
I'm gonna back this up.
I don't think that they're doing anything wrong with this ad. It's just the timing that it's coming at, where it's going to feel like it's going to feel like, hey, this is more woke shit. But they're not promoting anything woke in this.
No, there's not. It's just like, hey, women got their due. Okay, I'm going to throw this out there, okay? I'm going to throw this out there. after Signor Alvani, okay, fucking shit all over womanhood.
Yeah.
This is a beer company telling women, hey, we see ya. We hear ya. Good shit.
And, you know, if it was...
And on that note, go ahead.
And it real, like, there was no... They obviously, they couldn't make any mention of, like, you know...
Yeah,
what is a woman? What is a woman? Because apparently that no longer means anything.
It's verboten.
Like Tucker Carlson said, it's like
the verboten question.
It becomes an illegitimate if it's not an actual category. If anyone can just arbitrarily decide to be that, or say that they feel like that, and then get acknowledged as that, whether or not, you know, what they actually feel like as a woman, and who the fuck knows? Because who has a basis for comparing what it's like to be someone else? You've only ever been yourself.
How many men in the audience seeing this commercial and hearing that exact part just like yelled to the kitchen right now, honey, could you bring me a beer? Like
To Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good shit too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Honey, can you get me a beer?
This makes me thirsty for a Miller. Yeah, interesting choice, and it doesn't seem like a responsible marketing decision at this point in time. Again, weird. I'm behind. Like, if you take the commercial, you know, for what it is in a vacuum, totally, I'm on board with it. But the problem is that it's not in a vacuum. This is coming at a different time. You know, this is coming in the wake of the Alvani.
Yeah,
marketing campaign and the huge backlash that Bud Light suffered. So that's why, to me, this seems very staged or very forced. It's like,
okay. So
they would have chosen this naturally.
I'm gonna run defense for Miller Lite right now. This commercial was produced in March. Okay, this is before the Alvani incident.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This was before the Alvani incident. And the commercial was actually put on hold, if I'm not mistaken. The commercial was put on hold because of the Albany incident.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so now the video is getting released.
Well, did they actually run this ad campaign?
Yeah, this it started running today.
Okay. I'm wondering then, like, at what point did Bud Light start production of the Mulvaney?
Well, that's easy. We can verify that.
But, like, again, like, the fact that they both would have been focusing this type of campaign, like, I mean, I don't know if this is just because they're realizing that their demographic of consumers is, like, just shrinking, and, like, they're trying to... That's the thing, like, everyone's doing a seltzer now. It's like they're like, all these brands are just, like, they're trying to diversify to get more people on the sauce.
The Dylan Mulvaney controversy began April 1st. It could have been the easiest explanation ever. You could have just been like, it's a joke! It's a joke, you guys! Ah! No, but they doubled down. My God, they had the easiest out. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being an exec at Bud Light right now? And thinking like, man, if only I'd have been like, April Fools.
No, if they would have done that, like, there would have been even way worse backlash from probably a smaller group, but, like, it would have been some real vitriol.
Yeah, well, they would have gotten the Netflix treatment, right? They'd have had 8 outside their building screaming and attacking people, right?
Is that what happened at Netflix?
Yeah, that's what happened when they decided to run the Dave Chappelle.
No way.
Yeah. They ran it, and they had, like, I don't know, it's something between, I don't know. It looked like just a small handful of like trans activists, and then about 1,000 media people with cameras and stuff. Because that's how it is. That's how it always goes. All these little protests, dude. When you see, oh my God, look how many people there are. No, that's all media there for the 2 weird dudes in the middle, right? That's how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, this video is going long. I am Grundy. This is Jay. You were Go for Grundy. Welcome back to the Grundy and Jay channel. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And oh my God, we're getting in trouble for this one.